Hey, Hal here. I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with OnX Hunt. I've been using it for a while now, and if anybody knows me, they know I'm not a very techie person, but the OnX app is it's a real time saver. I remember the days when we poured over topo maps everywhere we was going to go and stuff, and I don't do that quite as much anymore. Where it's really helped me is scouting, whether it's deer scouting, a moose, or even turkey hunting in the spring, which I do. It really helps out. I don't have to spend as much time running around the truck burning up the gas. I'm just basically using my OnX. Got it on my phone. Don't even carry a GPS anymore. So I just download the areas where I'm going to be hunting, whether it's up north moose hunting, and I use it mostly on the satellite imagery. I like to see the cuts and the clearings and the turkey hunting, the hidden fields and stuff. But everybody's using it now, from the game wardens to land surveyors, and just a great tool. And with our partnership with OnX, if you use a code BWB, you're going to receive 20% off on your first premium or elite memberships. And you just go to onxmaps.com/hunt. You'll be glad you did. Good luck on the trail.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine master guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-hosts Lee Libby and Joe Cruzy as they unlock the secrets of big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights into the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Hal Blood, and we're Sunday at Huntstock, wrapping up the season of Huntstock here in 2023. So, sitting here with my co-host, Joe. Hello. And today we got the mountain deer men here, Rodney Elmer and Taylor Elmer. I don't know how Taylor got picked. Rodney, did you just pick one of the boys? Would you flip a coin?
You can blame Joe for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I did it. But
Oh, Joe.
sorry,
Okay.
guys. I didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah.
The least qualified person to be here.
Oh, I don't know about that. But yeah. What are we going to talk about? Deer hunting?
Naturally.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close, but I tell people don't rush it, huh?
That's right.
It's going to be here.
Well, that was the point of the show, right? This Huntstock has just been fantastic.
Yeah.
This was awesome, and I think we had to talk about the value of it, because my God.
Yes, that's right. A lot of people never understand the value in things, because a lot of people just, with the YouTube and stuff now, they're getting a lot of info for nothing, really, and so sometimes people lose sight of that,
This show has been awesome. I've never been so humbled with so many people that have traveled so far to see us. I had a fella from West Virginia, another one from New Jersey, one from the western end of Pennsylvania. People that drove 5-6 hours to come to this show and to talk to everybody and see everybody.
Yeah.
That one fellow last night, he's like, these are the most nicest people and the nicest show I've ever been to in my whole life. And he says, for the value, I can't believe it. You can come here for the small admission fee, and you listen to seminars of some of the top fellas from all around the Northeast, and there's so many nice booths, and the weather was so beautiful, and what a fantastic show.
Yeah. Lucked out again with the weather this year. Huh? Last year we had good weather, and we lucked out again, so.
Fantastic.
And the growth was evident this year, too, just walking around. I mean, where we're right now, all the vendors up here. So I imagine next year it's going to even be better. So
yeah, they still got
a lot of effort they put into it, but
they got room to expand again. But I think there's twice as many booths outside as there was last year. It seems to be.
Yep, that's great.
And yeah, I bet it'll grow every year. They got room to expand around here. It's a pretty big farm, huh?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice place.
It's a nice location. It's up on the hill where you get the breeze cutting across, and
Yep.
doesn't seem to get as hot as it might in some places. But
It's interesting. You see, so before we came on, which it kind of, Rodney, whenever we talk, either you or Taylor, we always get more into big picture philosophical stuff, you know. And I know I've listened to you a lot, and so you've got a lot of good, interesting thoughts on a lot of this stuff. So we were talking about beforehand, just, you know, the difference in generations, because I'm like the younger part of yours and Hal. You know, we're kind of the same generation, seeing the old school stuff, and Taylor and the other boys are the younger generation. So different with the show like this, for instance, where years ago you'd come and it would be outfitters selling hunts and products. Now, how many content creators are at these shows, and how much that's changed?
Yeah, outdoor shows are like in this evolution. Things are changing for sure.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, for the better, I would have just come apart if I was a teenager and I was trying to learn how to hunt. And I had so many fellas with so much experience. This is like been a giant deer camp.
yeah,
This show has been like the most giant deer camp. Even the after party, you know, up in the tent area as we're all having supper, you know, after talking to thousands of people all day long, and then get up there and share stories. And I've just been humbled by the people that have come and been so appreciative of it. And too, you're combining everybody's audiences, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
to have so many people that care about everything so much, and then to have them stand out there and talk to you and meet everybody and shake hands. And this one fellow's like, you guys are the friendliest show I've ever been to in my whole life. And like, I wish I was here for 4 days so I could get it all. Even though like the 2.5 days that the show does run, you've got nonstop seminars. You know, and they vary so much, and they cover so many different subjects. And if I was young and trying to get into hunting, boy, would I love this, because this is like the ultimate. And us older guys, we can all relate. Like, we're all telling the stories of, you know, how things were, which our generation got to know. You know, we got to know how things were 30 years ago, and now we remind them of this is the way it was, and this is how it's turning into now. This is the way we did it back then, and this is the way we got to do it in the future, right?
Yeah.
And like that telescoping perspective of what deer camp is supposed to be, here it is, right?
Yeah.
But the deer camp is full of some awesome people, right? And that makes the difference, right? Everyone's own like witness to what they got going on. That is so interesting, and of course it takes so many turns as you start a conversation, and the next thing you know, you're talking about all kinds of things, and most of them relate.
yeah.
They all relate to the outdoors. We relate to each other. It's great.
Yeah, and there's something for everybody here. I mean, everybody, you know, it's no secret people are getting more interested in tracking and stuff now, but here there's, you know, you got the bow hunter stuff, you got stuff for bow hunters, you got the tree stand stuff, you got everything to do with all kinds of deer hunting, but at least, you know, it's focused mainly on deer, and then there's the peripheral, because people from Maine, you know, guide moose and bear too, so it kind of
definitely
joins in, but
Yeah.
it's the focus and emphasis is really on all about the deer, you know.
Oh, sure.
It almost, it's more of a festival feel than a show feel.
Yeah, it's more like
Really
you
is,
feels kind of community. I grew up and going to these shows, and as a kid, and even I can see it feels completely different. You know, like you're saying, lots of outfitters and things like that. Like some of the more like the older shows that are like 20, 30 years old. You know, this just feels like kind of like one big party.
Yeah, technology is what's changed the whole thing, because back sportsman shows years ago was one of the main way that outfitters had to get with people, to find people.
Right.
Because a lot of people, when they're going to book a hunt, they want to go see somebody and talk to them in person. And that was the big thing. So it was, I mean, there'd be some of them big shows, there'd be hundreds of outfitters there. And, but that's all changed, because most people now, you can find anybody online and find all about them, and then give them a call and talk to them. And so people are doing it more that way now.
Yeah.
And so those sportsman shows, attendance, I think, has gone down, and not only attendance by the people, but by outfitters and stuff, you know.
The other turn I like about it is back in our age, it was more of an economic show, and less of an educational show. And now it's slowly turned into like an educational show. Like you come to something like this and you have takeaways. And that's the most important thing. If you lay down some money somehow, whether it's through an outfitter or coming to a show or even picking up some merchandise with a talk about how it comes, right? You get some physical advice to go with that trail camera that you just bought. And you're talking to somebody who really knows trail cameras, right? You're not getting just a trail camera. You're meeting someone who can actually tell you how it works. And you can also ask other people how they had it work for them. And like with you guys, you're professional, right? You do this for a living. So that profession and so many professions here, they're able to give you expert testimony to go with merchandise or even a method of hunting. You get expert testimony on that. Like I would have killed for that. I had to go to a library. Right, and to have
one book,
which is a building,
right? Which is a building with books, right? Right. That is such a huge, dramatic difference, and that's why you want to come to one of these. You want to come to one of these because you will meet someone who can give you an expert testimony of how it works. They can also give you a realistic thing. Some people, like if you're going to go to Maine, you want to shoot a Boone and Crockett, you can realistically tell them the odds of that. Right? Or even the odds of them getting a deer. You can realistically tell them what to expect when they go there, right? This is like uncharted advice from 100 dads, right? I had my dad. I might have had one expert that wrote a magazine, real tree stuff back when when you bought a. I can remember camouflage being invented. Okay, I remember camouflage. That's how old I go back, right? When
Moultrie guy
out
had
with
tree bark
camouflage.
on yesterday, and I was like, "That's the best. That was the real camouflage." Tree bark.
And now all of a sudden, right? It's so much more than that. There's been an evolution of shows, and they're so much better now, and I just love it. I love it. I love the direction that it's going, and it's going educational wise. I love that. Nothing beats that.
Going back to the library, you strike me as the guy who was getting microfishing, getting really down deep into it.
Every Bible, Shooter's Bible, Hunter's Bible, like that's what there was. The Kurt Gowdy stuff, right? That was the stuff there was. The only magazine I would ever subscribe to would be Field and Stream and Outdoor Life, right? And most of the time I got old copies from my uncles. I would read them 20-year-old copy in camp. With an article of a giant yellow birch rub, and I can remember that photo, and I would go back to that every year like a tradition, and then all the books like Larry's and yours and everybody that did so much.
I remember my grandfather used to subscribe to Outdoor Life, and when I was real little, he'd read it to me. I'd sit in his lap and he'd read it to me, in cover to cover. My grandfather, and so I started doing that. I'd get my own subscription when I got old enough, and Field and Stream, and there was 3: Sports of Field, Field and Stream, Outdoor Life, and I got them all, and I would read those from cover to cover, everything. I'd read the ads, I'd read everything, because you didn't have any way else to get the information about products too.
That's right. Oh, that's
so there's no internet, so you looked at all the ads, and you just you cherish those books. But I see the problem nowadays is the one downside of the informational age on the net, when everybody gets visuals and they get nice hunts on the YouTube and all of that stuff, is the younger people aren't reading as much,
right?
And they should, because you internalize things more when you read, right?
Well, you're not you don't have to visualize it when it's a video, or when you're reading, you're drawing the picture in your mind.
Yeah,
I think
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You're thinking about. You're actually, when you read things, I think you get kind of dreaming about it. You're thinking in your mind, and you almost can put yourself there through the words,
Yeah, the imagination comes into play. Right?
Yeah.
That's the key thing about being a person. That's what sets us apart from every other living thing, is that imagination, right? And especially creative-wise. And next thing you know, you're building a camp because you imagined you wanted to go deer hunting in an area, and you built a camp and you turned it into something, right? You create something. And yeah, you bet. That's awesome. Although, what I will be missing is all the context, the paralanguage, right? One of the things about having things on video or even audio like we're doing now is you can hear the tones, right? You can see the faces and the emotion and all that goes with it that a book just doesn't hand you. Right?
Yeah, well,
and I love that. I love the interpersonal part about the newer stuff because of that. Even though the informational and the digesting came at the speed you wanted to when you read it.
I can also see what Hal's saying, whereas if you like just go into the internet and you just search up something really quickly and easily, it's actually harder to retain that kind of information.
Yeah.
And when you read, you're actually working for the information a little bit more, so your brain's like, this is important, and I had to earn this, and we actually went through some trouble to do this, so this is something I need to retain.
And
I
you've
can
got
totally see
something
that.
to reference back to. You might say, geez, what was that I was reading? What about? And you can go right back and pick it up and read it again. But so I challenge you young people that don't like to read for one reason or another to read books, whether they're hunting books, whatever you're interested in, because really it's a big difference in just, I mean, watch your videos and your YouTube and all that too, but you gotta read, get that imagination going and absorb some of that stuff too.
Pretty near anybody, when they film something, they want to see themselves. Do you not want to see yourself in nature?
Yeah.
Do you not want to see yourself at the age you currently are? Do you not want to see someone else that you love so much in the age and the time of where they are?
Yeah.
Like, what
cool to have
better
the
record could there be of your life that will be passed on? And my great-great-grandkids will get to know me and hear me and the context of where they come from. Like, that's
a
nature,
huge deal.
right?
That's a huge deal that you're bringing up.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
and I'm sitting there thinking about it while you're saying it. You know, it never hit me till not too long ago where I thought about just that, and I thought, wouldn't I love to be able to listen to my grandfather, all the stories that we've talked about through the last 5.5 years or whatever on podcasts, to be able to have that. And maybe maybe they don't care about it, maybe they won't, but I would have loved to have been able to go back and do that, and we have nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Lanny and I are sitting on a cooler, sharing a cheek on a cooler the other night, and Lanny says, I love your stuff. And he leaned into me and he looked down at the ground and he said, I miss my dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? And we all just kind of went silent. Right? That feelings, those feelings, you do everything in life for feelings, and it's so valuable, right? And when someone's with you for a few seasons, you know, that's one of the things about this channel that's kind of humbled me and what we do, is that there's so many lonely hunters out there that want to be with someone, or they have lost someone, or things have changed for them somehow. And it's humbling to say that when they come up and they say, you changed my life, you changed my outlook. I don't care how much money you ever make. I don't care how many waves you make in the world. When someone comes up and says, you changed my life, what an amazing thing.
Yeah.
It really is. And, like, that's one of the things, you better appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we do. It's so thankful for the people who spent taking time out of their life. You'll never get any more time than there is. And what you decide to do with your time is pretty important. You can get more money. You can't get more time.
Yeah.
And I said to Lanny, I said, think about it, Lanny, right? These young fellas, and they're all in front of us. They're up at the grill. They're cooking and laughing and joking and being themselves. And I said to them, they're all roaring and going right at their lives. And I said to him, pretty soon they'll be over here sitting on the cooler watching their sons.
And it's not that long either.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
It's quick.
Oh, yes.
At their age, they think it's going to be a while, but we realize now how soon it's going to be.
One thing about that is, I think, and I don't know in Lanny's case, but a lot of people, you know, take their parents for granted, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, your father might piss you off or whatever and stuff like that. But that's, I think, you miss them more when they're gone. You don't appreciate them enough when they're there, so you have to miss them more when they're gone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And you do everything, of course, in your life for feelings.
Yep.
Aside from eating and breathing, the rest of this is entertainment. And we mow the lawn, and then we go, right? For the feeling, right? I got it done.
Yeah.
Right?
Get
And, of
on
course,
track.
deer season ends up being this thing where you're so in love with it that you want to be in that feeling that you have during deer season. And now you almost like want to do it all the time. And we meet plenty of crazies who like want to hunt all the time. And I'm like, dude, you got to let it go just a little bit, right? But what it does is it shows you how good it is to feel. And then you end up wanting to be that way and feel that way all the time, which you can if you decide. You don't have to be in the woods. You don't have to be hunting to feel good. And that video allows you to transport back to it. When you had a logbook at camp, and those hunters, and you read that logbook at camp and their statements of how good a time they had at your place, right? When you read that, it takes you back to that time. And you can relive that feeling and learn to generate those good feelings. And all you got to do is tell a story. One of the reasons deer hunt stories are so good and everyone loves them is because it transports you in time back to that good feeling.
Yeah.
You know,
right?
I'm sitting here thinking about our conversation earlier and what the conversation was, Hal, is a lot of the comments on videos, we get a lot of anti-hunter comments, you know, and especially it seems like with moose, you know. Oh, they're so majestic. They're so beautiful. Yeah, I agree they are. They're a beautiful animal. How can you kill them, you know? I can't believe, you know, murderer. I mean, there's some crazy stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can hardly ever resist to at least put some sort of response. And it killed, you know, what we discussed was how that big majestic moose is so beautiful and we can't kill it, but they don't think twice about stepping on a mouse. Why is the moose's life any more valuable than the mouse?
Yeah.
And you know, what they don't understand, they think that hunters are just a bunch of killers out there just shooting everything up and letting them die, but they don't get the part that you're talking about and the part that this show is and everyone coming and how much more goes into it, the deer camp part and hanging out and the stories and everything else, because the kill is like that much of hunting.
Yeah,
really.
We want to demonstrate value.
Yeah.
Right, not only to ourselves and to each other, but we also have to demonstrate value to nature, and we have to demonstrate value to society, right? If hunting doesn't show a moral and ethical and a value to the way society should be run or kept up, or it can't show at least its treasures. Hunting is a path to being a good person. It can be, but it's not the only one, but it can be a good one.
Yeah. Most people have got too distance from their food source, too, nowadays.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, there's people actually now that they think their meat grows at the grocery store. They don't have any idea where it comes from.
Yep.
Or the process
Completely
of it.
disconnected.
They're detached from reality, right?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't work in a slaughterhouse.
Oh, man.
I couldn't either.
And to me, when that deer or the moose or whatever it is, even the corn, right, it grew wild and free, and it was doing its thing right up until the last second. And the cow's a prisoner its entire life, right? The chicken can't even stand up. They pumped it so full of things, right? And then, like, I'm not paying somebody else to do my killing for me. And of course, death is just as much a part of life as the rest of it. And, of course, I wanted to get into it so that when I went to the woods, I would feel like part of the woods. I would belong there. I want to belong. I think everyone wants to belong in some form. And even the lady who might be against you shooting a moose or something, right? She's found a path in order to care about something, right? And everyone should care. And you want to care about all the possums that are run over as well.
Yeah.
Right? So at some point you have to say, well, let's find a path to begin caring. And sometimes it might be a moose is the only thing she can really seem to speak out about and talk about right now. But eventually, hopefully, she starts caring about everything, and even the possums now matter. Right? There's a path there that's good for everybody, and she's not wrong, but she's also not right. Right? And better perspective is all we're all trying to get all the time.
Hey, Hal here. Just wanted to tell you we're excited about our partnership with Minus 33. Minus 33 specializes in merino wool base layers for outdoor enthusiasts, from tops and bottoms to hats, socks, gloves. And our gear is going to keep you warm and comfortable no matter what adventure you're on, especially those big woods ones. We're a fifth-generation family, owned and operated, a New Hampshire woolen textile manufacturer. They have over 106 years of woolen expertise, and they started manufacturing woolen socks, the Mountain Heritage ones, in New Hampshire in 2018, with the idea that a quality product, affordable pricing, and can be worn and loved from season to season. No matter what your experience level or skill is,
so no one should feel uncomfortable or ill-prepared in the outdoor community. Having a reliable gear is one of the first steps towards a lifetime of passion or whatever activity it is. And my caveat to that is you got to wear your woolies. Cotton is death.
As you all know, Big Woods Bucks is devoted to promoting the best equipment for tracking and still hunting the big woods. Part of that equation for success is the sights that sit on your hunting rifle. We've chosen Skinner Sights as the company to produce our custom-built BWB Tracker Series peep sight. It's constructed of solid steel, has our custom ghost ring, and was co-developed by some of the best trackers in the world. To get yours, go to bigwoodsbucks.com and click on the Optics tab.
Hey, Hal here. Finally got some good news for all you. Our jackets are finally in. It's been a long process, but we got them done and got them right with all our new features and stuff in them. So some of the new features we added was a game pouch in the back you can access from inside with dividers in it. It's just like the original one. Mine's the original one, not the new one. It's got your slash front pockets where you can get in and get at your GPS or whatever you carry in your front ones. They're all lined with, the pockets are lined with Microtech fleece, so it's nice and warm on your hands when you put it in. Microtech's fleece. Got your slash pockets here. Just 100% wool, virgin wool. I think it's 100% virgin wool, but it's 85% wool with some nylon to make it stronger. Tight woven. And the vest, I don't have the vest on it. The vest snaps on, your orange cape comes with it. And we're going to have the green checkered jackets come in 22-ounce wool, and we have plain green, forest green, same color as our pants that are coming, and those are in 18-ounce, a lighter wool, so you can have a 3-season jacket or a 4-seasons jacket. And the pants will be coming in a couple weeks, and just in time for deer season. So get them ordered up and we'll get them shipped right out to you. Good luck on the trail.
Hey folks, Rick Libby here from Big Woods Bucks. I'm here today to tell you about our new packs. This is our new small pack, which the first time I saw it, Chris showed it to me and I said, that's the Nuna, because that's the perfect pack if I'm getting on a buck track at noon. And it'll hold a sandwich, your water, a little bit of gear. It's virgin wool, made in USA, waterproof resistant, has a liner on the inside. It's a great pack. This pack, this is our newest large pack, which when I used to carry the older pack, I always wore suspenders because it bothered my hips a little bit. So we designed one with shoulder straps, and this is a great pack. It takes the weight off your hips, puts it onto your shoulders. It's got a GPS pouch right here in the top you slide in. Same deal, it's water resistant on the inside, got that liner. It's a perfect pack. So I go to bigwoodsbucks.com, get yours today, and I'll see you on the track.
Trying to grow into something new.
Well, they also don't understand. Some people, I call it the Bambiism. They just think those animals live forever. You know what I mean? They don't, because they're detached from reality. So the reality is, like for a deer, and especially in the big woods up north where the winters are tough, when they're 10, they're about at the end of it. A moose, 15 maybe, 12 to 15.
Yep.
And they're going to have a brutal death on their own. Taking a bullet is probably a blessing for those older animals, and because it's not pretty just to wither away, because they ain't got enough teeth to, chew their food, and they starve to death in the winter. Or, sometimes in the case of the deer, they get the coyotes grab them, and eat half the hindquarters while they're still alive. See, they don't understand that's the alternatives to bullets, you know.
Oh yeah,
Or
brainworm,
arrows or
right?
whatever.
That
Yeah.
moose that's got brainworm. You
Yeah.
know, I've come across a lot of those, and it's quite a feeling to walk up to a moose that can't stand up anymore, and it's been laying in a spot, and it's dirt all the way around it, and
Yeah.
it can't move. And now here you are, right? And the humanity of you says, well, geez, we ought to put a bullet in that thing, right? But I'm trying not to suffer it, right? And I can't just do it. And I just said to her, well, I'm sorry, and I got to go about my way, and then just walked away from her.
Sometimes it's
and
a
when I
little-
got to the road, it was about
tragic.
3/8 of a mile to the road. I start down the road, and here comes Chris Egan in Pittsburgh, and he's a game warden, right? And I'm like, I got the numbers to her, and she's right over here. And he's like, yeah, okay. You know, you could have done it, but I'll go out and take care of it, right?
Hal, you ought to tell your story from a couple weeks ago there. Going,
Oh, yeah.
Because that was one where there might have been a chance, but
I was leaving town when I had a doctor's appointment, and I headed out, and I get down. It's about 20 miles south of town. It's Johnson Mountain, we call it. And I come over the hill, and there's a long straightaway, and I can see a cow moose standing in the road. It was been daylight for an hour, and as I got a little closer, I can see a little calf laying in the road. And as soon as I see that, I said, that calf got hit, you know. And I don't understand why, because a lot of people just don't. I think a lot of people drive and they look at the yellow line. They don't look anywhere, because that section of road from the pavement to the woods is 30 yards either side. It isn't like
they cut
it's
it back up there.
Yeah. So I get down there, and there was some cars behind me I knew, and I'm like, well, I got to slow down here and see what's going on. So I pulled over, and the cow was nervous, right? Her baby was laying there in the road, I got out, and she went down over the bank. It went down over in a little wet spot there. But the little fellow was up on his, kind of like up. He was alert and everything, and there was no blood in the road. He was laying there, and I could see a little bit of his hairs in the road, and I think it's where he was trying to struggle around there. But so I tried to pick him up, thinking maybe he just can't get up in the road, you know. And I got a hold of him. He was pretty heavy. I think he probably weighed 100 pounds already, you know.
Nice, yeah.
And I'm trying to pick him up, and he's not helping. And I said, oh, something. So I look around. I said, he must have a broken leg. But his back legs were out, and his front legs were out. And there was no blood, but I looked, and is right below the elbow on the front leg, I could see was busted. But it wasn't bleeding. It was just broke right there. And I'm like, yeah. If I didn't have the doctor's appointment, I was just traveling, I'd have got him in the truck, taking him home. My wife would put a splint on it, and he might have made it. But I said I didn't. I had to make my doctor's appointment. So I grabbed his front leg that was good and a back leg, and because he was right in the lane, and I pulled him over and down over a little bit in the grass where his mother could get near him again, because I knew she'd probably get hit eventually out in the road. And
Oh yeah.
pulled him down there and drove off, and I called the game warden, and I said, I think he can be rehabilitated. You know, down in Gray in southern Maine, they've got that place for the animals. I go, I think he can be rehabilitated. I think he's just got a broken front leg. And he goes, yeah, we don't do that. I'm like, all right. So
Yeah, tragic.
It's
yeah,
what it is.
he
It
had to get
happens.
down and
Yep.
give a little fellow the bullet, you know. But
But
you
you
try
know,
not to suffer it.
people that are those people commenting they could never comprehend that someone that has guided and had a business in killing animals would ever care about what happens, because we're all that way. All of us hunters would do the same thing, you know. No one wants to see an animal suffer.
There's a certain amount of
sick if you
compassion
do.
people have.
Yeah.
You know, and you're almost raised with it, right? That's the whole purpose of a mother, right? To make you compassionate, you know, and care about things. And also, too, that young life, right? Young life deserves a chance.
Yeah.
Right? That's ingrained in all human beings.
just about a week later, I was almost to Joe's place. I was down by Parlin Pond there, and I had just passed. I was in a hurry again. I just passed some cars, and they were hurrying. And I got down there, and I looked down ahead quarter of a mile, and I can see a doe standing in the weeds right on the side of the road there. So I'm slowing down, and as I get a little closer, I can see spots in the grass, and I go, she got a little fella there.
Nice.
So now I look in the rear view mirror and the cars are coming behind me fast. So I kind of just got where I knew they'd slow down, and I slowed right down because I wanted to make her go. And I got probably 30 yards before she finally went, and there was two little fellas standing in the weeds. Because, like, again, them people don't look. They just look straight ahead. If I'd have gone by, I was sure if they jumped in the road, they were going to get run over.
Well,
and
I think
she took them and run down in the woods there. And
the value of the sportsman's eye, right? You're looking for deer because, like, there's value. You value that, right? And a lot of people will not, like, what they see, even your clients, you take them out in the woods, right? What they see in the woods and what you see in the woods, right? And the different values of what people see. That's an amazing thing. I think that one of the things that hunting can do is it can shine a value on wild places and things. It can shine a value on its longevity and how long it stays there. Like, you will be the guide of man towards nature, right? I think that's what this is going to turn into, right? Where you're pointing the way. This is the way we should go, and we should care about those deer. We should slow down a little. We should look for them. We should think about them, you know? And eventually, hopefully, companies would start doing that, right? Before they cut all the mountains off, before they flood everything, before they drill all those oil wells, right? Or whatever it is that they're doing, you got to be conscious of that stuff. And that's one of the things hunting can do for the world. That's a value that should be promoted. Because we got our finger on the pulse of nature because we're out there so much.
Yeah. We still need gas for our rigs to go hunting.
Well, of course.
Especially the way we burn it driving around.
Yeah, but actually the oil well thing is a good point because most people don't understand where that comes from either. They think it's a dirty thing. Now they're drilling oil wells. They punch from one site and it goes down a mile or two and then it goes out 2 or 3, 4 miles. They're not disturbing really anything. One little spot, you know, and they get all the oil.
Sure.
Out it goes.
So I don't think we have much time left because you guys have to go here in a little bit. But I know you guys are working all the time there in southern Maine cutting trees. And Rodney, from the looks of it, you've been pretty busy.
Crazy.
Putting animals on people's walls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's that time of year that you're getting the hides in, right?
Oh, my God. I'm right out straight. I'm buried.
Have you guys been out at all in the woods this summer, or has it been all work?
Zero.
That's it.
The only woods I go in are my own in the summer. I've got 100 acres, and I'm cutting timber. Whatever price is right, I'm cutting that wood. And I've cut almost 50,000 board feet off my land, and I've got probably another 30 or 35,000 to go. And white birch and ash are still real good, so I've been killing white birch, boltwood, and so in the evenings, after I put in 10 hours, I'll go up with the tractor and the grapple and cut a couple trees and throw them on the trailer, and the next morning take them down to the concentration yard. And you know, I love cutting trees, and of course now the boys are doing that. So, and it's a connection to my own woods, and I'm making use of it before it's going. You know, a lot of them white birch are headed, and they're all boltwood, so I just get rid of those. They're 80 years old. It's time they're ended their lifespan, and it gives me a chance to help my forest and my deer a little bit and pay back the deer to help make up for the one I'll shoot this fall.
You guys coming back over by our neck of the woods again? You guys are over there every year, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. We might go venture and sniff around in New Hampshire a little bit. That's been calling.
I was over to Just Hunt Club's booth, and he's like, New Hampshire, New Hampshire, New Hampshire, New Hampshire, New Hampshire, and they're all 140, 50 inchers. And I'm looking at that, and I'm saying, New Hampshire, right? Last 4 or 5 years, we shot all these deer. And I'm like, dude, I may have to shift locations slightly.
Yeah. And if you're going to wander around with no snow, it doesn't really matter where you go. There's a decent buck anywhere. And we just most of the time go to Maine because there's snow. You get the snow first, and you want to get on a track or whatever. But if we're going to flip-flop, 70-degree weather at the beginning of November, we might as well just go someplace new and check it out.
You get down into southern New Hampshire, there's a lot more deer. Same way with Maine. There's tons of deer. I mean, shooting one on bare ground is not a big deal. It's not that hard to do,
Nope, not at all.
So,
it's encouraging. The deer herds in all 5 New England states are really doing good.
Yeah.
I've seen trail camera pictures of deer local right here. My God.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So and there's a big deer in every chunk of woods everywhere anyway. Doesn't matter where I go, I find a big one. I don't have to look very hard, and there's a lot of nice deer. I like the legends. One of the reasons I hunt where there's so many people and there's so much open land is because what all that hunting does is it turns 2 or 3 bucks into absolute legends. They're so good, hardly anybody can kill them. They're so smart, and they are not curious, and they're on it. And if I'm going to shoot a deer, I want to shoot a legend. I like them ones nobody else can get, and they've all tried, and now he's so wound up, and you can't get anywhere near him. If I end up killing that deer, I love it. Like the satisfaction level, that is awesome for me, and I do like it that
big
way.
mature buck that's on it. It just feels like it's
You got a
worth
history
spending your
with.
deer
I like
season.
the one you have a history with.
Yeah.
You know, you've been after him for a couple, 3 years, and then you get him. Like that's
fun.
awesome. I love it.
That's a little bit tougher up by us because it just isn't patternable as much. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
it happens, but it's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
it's-
can't.
and you guys know. I mean, that's
Oh
you
yeah,
know, that's the
you
way
may
it is
get
over
there,
in
and there's
your
been 3 guys chasing him for 3
I mean,
days
like
in
the
a
deer
row
you
before
shot this past year
Oh,
on bare
geez.
ground.
Oh yeah.
That was just a
Yeah.
Yep,
but
just
what a hunt. That was, by the way, that was a great video, man.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Just-
yeah, we
Love
had
the
fun
hunt.
doing
That
it.
got everyone fired up, I think, because it was so early. And
Quite
know.
frankly, though, up our way, the deer aren't chased.
No.
There's no. There's not enough people.
No.
Everybody thinks everybody now that we got things going on up there. Everybody thinks everybody's running to Jackman to hunt.
Right.
I don't think last fall we had snow from the beginning of the 3rd week through muzzleloader week, and I got to stop to think if I saw one guy in the woods, and I don't think I was surprised where it was that he was there, and I don't know if I saw another boot track in the woods.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
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 So
compared to even like 25 years ago, there's hardly the hunters there was 25 years ago.
there isn't.
I think
when I first started my guide business back in the 90s, there was every room in town was taken the whole deer season. Every motel room, every camp was full. There'd be wall tents and campers on the logging roads.
yeah, every gravel
You
pit.
never see a tent anymore. You see a tent?
Nope.
No, you don't see a tent.
I think
Nobody's
it's coming.
camped.
I think most of those guys that are doing that are up north of us.
Yeah,
There's
they
a lot
go-
of that
they
up
go
there
more
because there's no
north.
lodging options, and
Right.
Yeah.
and
no
you know,
choice.
by going up there, you feel like you're
Sure.
Yeah.
In
In
the
our
away from
area,
it.
there's still
Spencer
the,
Road, I'm
the
sure there's
first
a
2
few
weeks
out,
of the season right now, because everybody thinks there's no snow, but usually there is.
There is sometimes.
3 out of
yeah.
the last 4 years we've had snow the first week.
Oh yeah.
So, but they don't think there is. So the first 2 weeks, it's a ghost town in town. You drive down through town in the morning, the motels don't have anybody there hardly, 2 or 3 maybe, and so. Yeah, so our deer ain't getting chased
Well,
around.
the other thing too is even later in the season, the snow blankets everything by then, and that spreads everybody
Spreads
out.
everyone
Yeah.
Right. So there's no like giant concentration all of a sudden. And,
Yeah.
and if it is, it's only temporary. It's just for a few days when that storm hits in the mountains just right, and it just shades on a certain area. Then later on, when you get a little weather, it's everywhere, and now it's like snowmobiling. If there's only snow in Pittsburgh, everybody drives their snowmobiles to Pittsburgh to go snowmobiling in the wintertime. It's kind of the same thing. As soon as snow hits everywhere, all the pressure's off again because everybody
Yeah.
spreads out and just goes find a deer.
Yeah, but
exactly
they're just,
right.
and again, still, most people don't get a quarter mile from the road.
Oh, yeah. They
Most
don't
of the
hunt
people
very far.
that I see up there, they're riding the roads all day.
Yep.
And they're hoping to pick up a track that somebody already probably jumped them, and that's how you get cut off. So I just don't hunt those places. So there is places that, yeah, the bucks probably get chased. They've been chased around a few times, but there's plenty of bucks. I've shot plenty of them that I was probably the first one that ever got on their track.
Yeah.
It's just-
First and the last, anyway.
yeah, just remote. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, too, because our bucks travel so far, you shoot a buck somewhere, and he might really live 10 miles from there.
Oh, yeah.
And he just wandered over. That's where you happen to pick him up and happen to get him. So it's just kind of funny the way it works. And then you might hunt 10 miles away and shoot a buck over there, but he came from the area that you shot the other buck in,
That's why we're always 3 days behind.
Yeah.
Right? We get into an area and there ain't much tracks. We come back 3 days later and the place is plastered and it's like, man, we should have been here 3 days ago, 2 days ago,
Well, it's
or even
really-
a day ago.
It's really about the way it works there. The big mature bucks get through an area about every 3 to 4 days.
So
you-
Rodney, what brought you to? We thought about talking, doing some bare ground stuff and everything, but
Yep.
what put you at the spot you were at? Was there a sign up there that you were hunting last year that brought you there, or was it just this area you know?
Definitely. There's an older buck that's been living there that I don't think anybody has still killed yet. And even you and I have been messing with him, the old man. I mean, we've been after him for like 4 years probably, and we thought he was like a 4-year-old when we started. I would imagine the rack would probably be going back. See, I don't use trail cameras or anything. I'm just going by the sign and where he hangs out and what he does, because he keeps doing the same kind of routine. And our timing is just barely off. And then this other 4-year-old started hanging out at the other end of the valley right there. And I said, well, let's just drive up there and check things. And we did a quick check. And when we got to the end, I'm getting out right here. And they're all like, really? And I'm like, no, I'm getting out right here. And I got to try my gun because I dropped it and whatnot. So, like, let's check the gun, make sure it's cool. You guys, I know where you're headed round, right? And they're all like, we're going down where that giant is and go give him a try early and just see if he's still here, see if he's still alive. They were just, like, working over a 1.5 mile area, the other three of it, that you guys just kind of working that other area overlooking. And I said, well, I'm going to start here. I will end up over where you are eventually. They're 1.5 miles from me. I said, I'm just going to swing up through here. And if you ask me right there, and I literally pointed at the spot I was going to shoot that deer, right? The feeling says, like looking for your keys, right there on today's 70-degree north side, all greenery. If I was a moose, if I was a good bull, where would I be? That buck, probably right here someplace. Then walked and nope, not quite. Things didn't feel right. Too thick, too this, and I just did my normal. And then when I got up there, I'm like, nope, uphill a little bit. Boom, bull. I see the bull. I said, okay, now we're in the right woods. As soon as I saw that big bull, I'm like, now I'm in the right woods. Now, nice and easy. And of course, I always try and film as much wildlife as I can. We need something for footage, and I love moose. I just love filming them. I'm not interested in shooting one. I'd mess his day up. But when I work up the hill and he had a cow and she roars off a little bit. She give me one of them, roar, and off she goes, and the two of them go down. And then I get up in the road and I get taken in by everything. I just get vacuumed right into it all. And I always love chickadees. My grandmother loved chickadees, right? And they all come over to me and I'm enjoying them and feeling good. And I said, I need to feel this way about the deer too. And I want to make sure the deer, I want the feelings to be right. Right, when your emotions and your desires are in the same, like, power, when they're the same attitude, then things start happening for you. And I said, I need to feel this way about him, right? And I start down the road, and boom, here he comes right here, right? Just like that, right? That's how your whole life works. This is planet Earth. You have dreams and desires, and when you do the right thing at the right time, the miracle shows up. That's how you get your pickup. That's how you got your guide business, right? You had dreams, desires. You did the right thing at the right time, and the miracle shows up. If you leave your dreams out, it ain't happening. You leave your desire out or the doing of the right thing, even if it's the right thing but it's at the wrong time, it's still not going to happen, right? So you can't leave those things out, but the miracle shows up. The gas pedal is your emotions. So I'm like, don't get down. Feel good about this. See how the chickadees came to you, how much I love chickadees, right? And they're all blah, 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 and I'm like, you need to feel that way about deer, Rod. And I take a few steps and whoa, here it comes right here. And just bang, right? And then now I'm feeling bad in a way because, like, Taylor's not with me, right? And I'm like, what's the matter with you?
That's standard
Right?
practice
Don't
now. You
feel
know what
that
I mean?
way, right?
Like,
Don't feel
he's got
bad
to peel
about it.
off on his own to do it.
Don't
apparently.
apologize for being good at something, right? Like even a little kid who hit the ball, you tell him, don't. Right? I'm glad you're good at something. Everyone should be good at something. And so the thing's dead, and I'm like, yeah, I am blessed, right? And then I turned the camera off, and I sat down and took it all in. And him and I had our moment, and there's beauty in that. And I'm good for the rest of the season. Like, there it is. And I don't need a deer. I want them. I'll take them. But I don't need them, and it's okay. And now I just do that all the time. Casey and I are going along, and Casey, he's a little Ewok. Bunga, 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 bunga. I belong. Everything's cool. And then, and out comes the spear. What's that? And I know, get the camera up, right? I have to get the camera up. And, like, his feelings and his desires of the same quality all the time. So he boom, 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 boom a little bit more. And I'm like, ooh, we've done a 180-degree hook. Oh, they're right here. My hair's going boom, right? The deer meter's going off right here. And he's like, I know, relax. Keep your vibes down. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, right there. And pow, and he shoots his, right? it just comes right into it. And that's the part that we're all trying to keep in alignment, right? So that we stay cool and calm. The dog knows when you're wound up. You think deer doesn't know when you're wound up? Right? Easy. And then all of a sudden, you can take that client of yours that's all wound up and chill him. That child that you're going out with for the first time, chill him and go. And he'll be like, oh. And now the telescoping effect of those young people with all of this advice that they get from everybody, and if they use the videos to keep themselves in their emotions in alignment with their desires, now we run the world.
That is a good place to stop. I like that. But we have to, unfortunately.
Sorry.
No. I wish we could keep on going. I was told you guys had to be out of here, so I'm trying to.
Yeah, we got to get going.
Trying to respect that time, but, but
thanks for everybody for coming.
I wish we had another hour we could sit and talk because we always enjoy it.
We'll do it again.
And also, if you do make it over that way, we're just a short little drive there to the lodge, so
Yeah.
we have a good time. We'll have
Slide
dinner
down.
on, and you guys should
That'd be
stop
fun.
over if you're that way.
That would be fun. It'd be a good time.
Come on down to Huntstock, everybody.
Yeah.
It's a great time. Even if you don't make it this year, come next year.
All right. Well, that was great having you guys and talking deer hunting, and it's not going to be long. So once again, thanks everybody for wanting to come and watch and support our sponsors. That keeps it going. And till next time, good luck on the trail.
Hi everyone, team member Mark Sheeran here. I've been helping people solve their addictions for the last 34 years. In 2017, we published the revolutionary non-12-step book, The Freedom Model for Addictions. If you'd like a free paperback copy sent directly to you, go to freebook.freedommodel.org. That's freebook.freedommodel.org. All right, take care.
Hey guys, Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a four-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open all obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.